Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Big League Chew. This is episode 311. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate, good to have you back.
Hola. How we doing?
Doing well.
My apologies, everybody.
Give people the real rundown as to why you were out last episode, because I speculate. I don't know if you listened at all. Probably
I did not.
No.
That's
fine. I was just speculating in the same vein with the whole Pujols juice balls thing. I was exploring all avenues.
You had a little conspiracy.
Had a little conspiracy. I said I don't want to commit to one reason or another, but I'm just laying out the possibility that maybe Nate was recovering from a relatively wild weekend and just decided to tell me that he was instead coming down with something. So I'm not saying that that's what happened. Maybe you were sick. I don't know. But I'll let you explain that to the people.
I wish that was the case. It was a wild weekend. But I got back Sunday night. So, I mean, I was not even late. I was back by 8:30. So, but I was that guy on the plane that you just kind of like, gross, that guy. It just hit me when I got to the airport. And I remember I was asking my buddy Sam, because we were in Georgia. I was asking him, I was like, are your allergies acting up here? Like, you like switch states, especially going from like the desert to the East Coast. It's just different allergies. So I was like, are your allergies acting up? And he's like, no, I'm fine. And then literally on the plane, it just got worse and worse. And then it got to that point where where you're so stuffy that it doesn't do anything, but somehow your nose is running.
Oh yeah.
That's what was happening.
That's fun.
And I was like asking the stewardess, I was like, please, like, just, I need like a lot of napkins. And then I didn't realize, I think because I'm used to flying Southwest, I was flying Delta. Premier flight, by the way.
Oh, Delta.
Free
plug.
Delta. Free plug for Delta. Built-in screens and everything. You go back into the bathroom, there's everything you need. So there's like a whole box of tissues I stole. So snagged that, went back to my seat. And yeah, so it got to that. And then I woke up Sunday morning and I was like, oh boy. Took the COVID test, luckily negative, and a couple days of some phlegm, and now we're good.
All right.
And now Paige has it. So
love that.
Yeah.
How's the trip?
It was sweet, man.
How was Truist?
It was sweet. Truist is badass. Truist is really smart. And what I was kind of explaining to everybody there, because everything around, like, the battery is like fairly new, is what I'm hearing. It's like within the last 2 to 3 years. And what I was trying to explain to like everybody there, I said, all big market teams, this is what they're starting to do. I was like, if you go to a Yankees game, you go to a Red Sox game, you go to, I don't know about Nats Park now, but like it's like an environment around the stadium.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's like, let's make this not just an event that we're going to, let's make this a day. So show up early, have lunch here before the game, get some drinks in, shop around, and then you have your game that's, obviously the event you're there for. That's what they've built. And that's what I was trying to explain to them. And I said, this is good for long term. And Braves country, man, this is real. Like, I don't think people get it. I think the average person just thinks Braves are like all about Acuna, all about Riley. Nah, dude, Braves fans are like on board, fully on board. And they're about it. And you're seeing just everybody, just all different ages, different, ethnicities, like everybody's there. They're just all Braves. And Truist is sweet, real sweet. Spent a couple hours out in the Battery before. Some cool spots, man. Just some cool spots. And then once you get into the stadium, did some walking around. Shout out Andrew. Shout out Braves Content, if you're not following him already. Met up with me. We walked through the team sales, or the team shop. I did snag a shirt. I did not pull the trigger on a jersey. Andrew tried. He got them to like pull down like a $250 chipper jersey with like the World Series patch on the sleeve, and he's like, "I'll get you 15% off." And I'm like, "No, dude, no. This is gonna hide in my closet after today." So I went t-shirt, and I looked at the hats. The hats didn't do anything for me, but
was it a jersey or was it what kind of shirt was it?
It's like a Nike dry fit. It's red and it's got like just the Atlanta A on it.
Oh, nice.
Literally the only red article of clothing I own.
Wow.
Not even kidding. Yeah. I'm one of those weirdos that I color coordinate my shirts in my closet. So I just have like black, blue, gray, white. That's basically it. And it's just this red one at the end. Like, I don't know what
sticking out like a sore thumb. Love it.
Yeah. But it's cool, man. Truist is sweet. I was able to walk around, like there's a museum part where they got like a Hank Aaron statue and, just a lot of cool stuff. They're doing a really good job. And then they do this thing where it's Friday nights. They do fireworks. We were there Friday night, and the hell of a game. That was a great game. Food was really good. Walked around. We looked up what the food you gotta get. And I wasn't feeling a burger, so the next one on the list was a steak sandwich. And I went on a journey. I mean, a full-on journey. And it's just one of those carts. That's all it was. It's not like this actual, like the built-in snack bars. It's like a cart that just randomly parks in different spots. And I walked to the entire stadium. I missed like 2.5 innings trying to find this sandwich because I was on a journey. And it was phenomenal, dude.
Was it?
Phenomenal. Like one of the best foods I've ever had in a ballpark. It was so good. So good.
Shoot.
Yeah. It was just a rib, like thick slabs of ribeye steak, like gorgonzola cheese, some onion straws, onion bun. Ooh, man. I could go for one right now. It was good. But no, I just the Braves just it gives me this feel. It's just like they have their fan base bought in. And after the game, they have this like hype man that comes down. There's always like a post-game interview with like the player of the game, right? This guy does the interview and then he's walking around and he's like, let's just give it up. And he just starts rattling off like numbers of the other guys that weren't player of the games. So he's like, here's the line for this guy, 2 hits from him, couple RBIs from him. And he's like, let's give it up for these guys. And the crowd's like, no one's moving. No one left their seats. The game's over. And then left field clears out because of the fireworks. So they come down to the field and they're sitting like all in foul territory watching the fireworks, and nobody moves. Nobody went anywhere. And it was like a legit like 4th of July fireworks show. It was like a good 15-minute fireworks show. But while they were setting up the fireworks, they had like the Jumbotron set up and they were just playing fun music, dude, just like Miley Cyrus. Like everybody's dancing and like panning between. One of my buddies in the group got up on the screen and just dancing ridiculously, and like our whole group was on the Jumbotron. It was just bouncing back and forth. And it was fun. Like it was fun. And like I think the Braves found a way to just like, let's make this an entire day for you, And it was a blast. The only bad part about it was trying to get an Uber after. We had to walk like 2 miles away from the stadium to get an Uber, but excellent experience. Highly recommend it.
Shoot, sounds like I need to get down to Truist. I've been down to Atlanta for a game, but not at Truist. So
yeah, it's sweet, man.
I'd love to
sweet.
experience some October baseball down there. That would be.
It was just a random
move.
Friday night. Random Friday night. And I think, yeah, everybody's just super bought in. Super bought in. You know how, like, when you go to different ballparks, and I think you can find, certain ballparks where you see, like, fans kind of walking around and they're just, they're wearing, like, random teams. I was probably the only guy there that wore a random team. I wore this hat. I wore the Yankees hat. Of course.
You were that guy, huh?
I had to be.
Well, you didn't have to be. I mean, there was a very clear, conscious choice made.
There was a clear, conscious choice.
Well, I mean,
one of the guys in the group was actually a Yankees fan as well, and he was going to wear an Aaron Judge jersey, and then he bailed. I was like, well, that's just soft.
Well, that's just the right thing to do.
Jersey's a lot. Jersey.
I mean, you're asking to get beat up in the parking lot after the game. I mean, that's
Jersey's a lot.
I can maybe draw the line at the hat, but jersey, can't do the jersey.
A little much. But like, what's cool is that in the right field, like the Chop House.
Yeah. Did you make it out corner
there? Yeah, that's where we started. That's where we came in. You can hang out there. You can get drinks, and it's just like this overlooking bar. You can just hang out there, and it's like you could tell that's where everybody kind of starts, and then you just kind of spread out from there. But yeah, man, it's a good experience. Like, and everybody there is fully on board with the Braves. Like they're building something.
I have a love-hate relationship with Braves fans. I'm in their corner when nobody else is, but then when they start feeling themselves a little too much, that's when I'm out. I'm like, this is nauseating. I've had my dose.
It's tough. It's tough when they start feeling themselves, but they can feel themselves for a good reason, I guess. At this point,
I guess. Nate, let's get into it. We got a voicemail to open us up with off the top here, so let's just dive right into it.
Hey, fellas, how we doing? AJ Torres from Danbury, Connecticut. As much as I would like to talk about how my Yankees have given me heartburn the last 2 months or so, Kyle, this one's for you, brother. Tell me how you feel about Chaim Bloom. And the baseball fan in me is just saying to myself, this man has been given this proud franchise not the best team he can on the field. He's been treating it as if it's prime poverty. So, question for the two of you. If you were in the general manager chair for the Boston Red Sox, what would you do the last 2 years as far as moves being made, acquisitions, outside the obvious of extending Xander Bogaerts? Take it easy, fellas. Bye-bye.
Man, can't let sleeping dogs lie. We gotta, just when I thought we were gonna make it through the remainder of the year without having to talk about this borderline fraudulent franchise at the moment. I mean,
how long could you listen to that accent? By the way, it's amazing.
Yeah, no way he's from Danbury. No way he's from Danbury, Connecticut.
I think he's there now, but that accent is it right there. I love it. I'm eating it up.
No, he's right there from the heart and soul of New York. I don't care what the voicemail says. Yeah, look, I've kind of expressed my thoughts on this before. Chaim Bloom extended his graces, at least for me, with what we were able to do last October. But like I said, based on the way this year went, it's making last year look more and more like a fluke. And you can point to injuries, you can point to this or that. That for me, because it's the Red Sox, if it was another organization, I'd say, no, give this guy some room and time to work. But you don't have that kind of luxury with the Red Sox. So for me, this offseason has to be the point in time where he just nails it. Because if you don't rebound from this atrocious season, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to move on, because you're the Boston Red Sox. You're not the Detroit Tigers. You're not the Kansas City Royals. Like, spend money, go get top level players, top caliber players, and put together a team that can win year in and year out. Stop trying to penny pinch and bring this Tampa Bay Rays approach to Boston. It doesn't work in Boston. It never will work in Boston. That's not how Boston's built. That's not how this organization operates. So, like, change your hat, get the Rays hat off, get the Red Sox hat on, and make some adjustments to how you construct this team, and let's move forward in 2023, because I'm not doing this again next year. I'm out if we don't do a single thing. I'm out.
Well, I mean, just last week, what was that Plawecki move? I saw that ruffled a lot of feathers in the clubhouse.
Big clubhouse guy, and it's just like, why not let at least
today? Like, why today? Why this? Like, why now? Why can't you let the season die out? You know what I mean? Odd moves.
It's like, I understand it's a business, but at a certain point, you just have to recognize that these are human beings. It's like, I feel like the respectable thing to do is to just let him ride out the rest of the year, considering how much of an impact he has in that clubhouse. None of this year has made sense to me.
It hasn't. And you look at the trade deadline and you're like, they were semi-buyers for pieces that didn't really plug holes that they had. So at that point, it's like, I understand, because you see some teams where they're half buyers, half sellers, where they're realistic on where they're at in the division. They can say, okay, well, we can get after it a little bit. We can kind of make a run, but at the same time, we can build for the future by selling some of these pieces that we know we won't, bring back. And they didn't do that. I think not moving JD Martinez was a big mistake. That was a big mistake. And if you want to go back further, not re-signing Schwarber, not making a run at Rizzo, it's just there's a lot of weird moves that just, they seem like Band-Aids. Just Band-Aid moves. And if I'm Bogarts, I'm like, I'd like to see some moves being made before I resign. Show me what you're going to do to build around this before I sign here. I think he's going to be on the market for a little bit.
I mean, going back to Kyle Schwarber, he just reached his first 40 home run season this past
he had
week.
a heck of a postseason last year. Heck of a postseason.
I mean,
and you could tell that guy's Schwarber is going to be.
He gets it, man.
Is he immediately going to step into being a fan favorite, and you don't bring that back? So questionable moves, man.
You can't foresee JD doing what he did this year. So from that perspective, I get that. I mean, he's got, I think, maybe a dozen home runs this year. So not ideal, but yeah, look, you're gonna need to lock up Devers. You're gonna need to lock up Bogarts. Add something to the rotation, because what you have right now just is not going to cut it, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
And start filling in the gaps from there. Like, you just cannot keep doing what you're doing. Like, these Tommy Pham, James Paxton-esque moves, that just doesn't fly in Boston. It just doesn't. And the fact that it's taken him this long to see that, it's slightly concerning. But
yeah.
Aaron Judge's 60th. How did it feel? Were you able to watch it? Were you able to catch it?
Watched it live, yeah. Yeah, watched it live. It's weird how many moments that you feel like the guy just steps up for. The moment where you're like, everybody in the ballpark has one thing in mind, and he does it. And that you could just, what I love about Judge is that, like, his reaction after. They were down 3 after that. And it's like, what? Okay. Like, 60 feels great, but you could see, like, he comes back to the dugout and they asked for the curtain call, and he came back out, and he's like, he wasn't really like into it, and he's just like, he wasn't smiling. There were some high fives, and he wasn't that about it. He was happier when the rally started after. He's happier when his guys started performing finally, right? When other people started to step up. That's where he got more excited. I think that's the epitome of Judge. And I think that's what's cool about him, is that it's like you can watch there's videos out there, stuff on Twitter and Instagram. You can watch every one of his 60 home runs. And it's the same reaction every time. It's the same thing every time.
The 60th, I will say, but like you were saying, his reaction, just the way he was handling himself and the moments after while they're still down by a significant amount, it was very Kobe-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not trying to equate the two by any means, but just in the way he responded, he's like, this doesn't matter. Like, the job isn't finished. Even in that moment, I'm sure that's what he's thinking. It's like, okay, like, yeah, it's cool, but like, we can talk about this later. Right now, we're down. I think they were down 3 at the time.
Yeah.
And then his whole demeanor changes after that grand slam. And I do have to add, I want to say this voicemail was sent in prior to these last couple games against the Pirates, because I think before that, you were still a little bit in that rut. The Yankees were just a little bit, maybe coming out of it a little bit, but I think
four of the last 5 going into that series, I think.
So when he was saying they were giving them heartburn, that I think it was prior to these last couple games against the Pirates.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know, these last couple of days, maybe the Yankees have hit a turn here.
I got to be real with you. I'm trying to be realistic. This is kind of our World Series. Judge's performance is basically our World Series this year. And I think every Yankees fan can realistically look at this team and just feel like the bullpen's in shambles. Shambles. I have no idea how, and they have a half of a rotation. I just don't see how this team can, unless they bludgeon teams offensively, which you can see how dormant they can go at times. I don't see how they're going to be able to make that deep of a run in the postseason. So what Judge is doing is it's our World Series. And that's what we're on. We're just on the edge of our seats for. And it's amazing to watch. It's really, really cool.
Quite literally the edge of your seats. Did you see the scrum for the 60th?
I did. I'd be down there.
Dude, that was insane.
I'd be in that.
Do you think even if you went into a game like that, whether it's Judge, whether it's Pujols, whatever, even if you went into a game being like, I'm not trying to come out of here with 2 broken arms, do you think instinct would kick in if you're out in the bleachers and you see the ball coming toward you? You just throw caution to the wind and you're just in there with everybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. We're on the same page, because I'm just like picturing it in my head right now. Like if I'm sitting there and I see 61 coming at me, I'm going like it's got to be straight tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Like everything else just kind of fades to black in your peripherals, and you're just like, this is the only thing that matters to me right now.
I'm swimming over people because, like, let's be real. If you played baseball, you can track a ball better than most people, better than most average fans, right? So once I see that ball, if it's like a little to my left, I'm especially on bleachers, I'm pushing, I'm shoving, I'm trying to get in line quick. And then as soon as it goes, I'm head diving in there. I'm getting in there. It's like a when a fumble happens in the NFL, I'm pulling fingers back, I'm eye gouging. Teeth might come out. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, I'm doing what I can to get in there, because I put a post out the other day, but apparently the auction estimates for these next few home runs, 61, whenever that happens, it's expected to go for 200 to 250,000. 62, which will break the record, is going to go for over 500,000.
Mm-hmm.
And his final home run, which help me understand something here, because admittedly I didn't understand the purpose of this, but the final home run of the season is going to go for over 1 million. Now explain to me how that makes sense, because I'm genuinely curious and I'm at a loss.
I mean, it's the last one. I think that's the new mark. You know what I mean?
But for what though, I guess is what I'm trying to figure out. Just the American League record, because to me 62 is the one that I that's we've shared our thoughts on that. We'll leave that for interpretation. But I mean, if you're just going by the book based on the records we have, you're not setting the single season mark here. You're only setting an American League record. So I mean, is that what is that where they're finding the value here?
I don't know. I think that conversation becomes more prevalent once it happens. The real record. I think that's where it starts to come. But I also think when you look at the guys that did it before this, Sosa, McGuire, Bonds, that's towards the tail end of their career, right? I mean, it's definitely prime, but it's towards the tail end. I think Judge is going to be like the front cover of magazines for the next few years. You know what I mean? He's coming onto the scene, and he's doing it in the biggest market. And yeah, it's the clean one. I hate to say it, it's the clean one. It's the clean record, but I think it's wherever it stops. I see him probably getting to like maybe 64, maybe. Yeah. But I don't know. Would you keep it?
All right, I'm glad you brought this up, because I feel like this is a conversation we need to circle back on. You can say that I'm full of it. You can say that I'm just riffing off a bit here. Honestly, as I sit here right now, I'm giving it back.
Yeah.
Like I just am. And then he can, whether he wants to keep it or who, fill in the blank, whoever it is, again, Pujols, Judge, whatever. If he wants to keep it, fine. It's his accomplishment. If he wants to give it to the Hall of Fame, a museum, whatever, his parents, I don't know. That's his choice. It's his accomplishment. For me, being able to see
you got to give him the chance to do that, right?
Yeah, seeing what these people are doing, they're doing the meet, which it seems to be trending more and more this way, more than I can ever remember. Is these stadiums are just they're pushing the idea and welcoming the idea of these meetups after the game, doing some autographs, signing some bats, signing some balls, getting pictures. For me, like that's. If I can do that after the game, the same game that you set this mark, tied this mark, broke this mark, whatever it is, that's enough for me. And people are saying, well, it's like I'm seeing all these headlines. Judge's home run balls moving forward are going to be a lottery ticket. And it's like, yeah, I get that. But, and people were railing on the guy that gave 60 back to Judge. And I'm like,
the 20-year-old kid.
Yeah, like you're railing on him because there aren't that many people out there like this that would do something like this. And I'm not trying to like pat myself on the back or pat you on the back, even because I'm sure you would probably do the same thing. But it's just, I don't know. It just seems like the right thing to do. Like I don't need it. Give it to the guy that did it. He's the whole reason these people are locked in every game. Like, right. I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
Think, yeah. I mean, the kid that gave it back, he's a 20-year-old kid, and I don't know if you listened to the interview. He was just like, I was just doing my part. You know what I mean? He's just like, I'm a Yankees fan. I think it's one thing if you're a different fan in a scenario like that. But if you're a diehard fan of that team, of what it means to the organization, you got to give it back. Michael Kay did tell a pretty cool story. Maris hit his 61st in 61, and the guy that caught it offered to give it back. And Maris said, no, you sell it, and that's going to do something more for you than it would for me. And that's what Maris said. He sold it for $5,000. And at that time in 1961, that's really good money. He was able to use some of that money for a down payment on a house, and he started his life together with his wife. I think that's really cool. For me, I'm giving it back, but I'm gonna need some stuff. Give me a jersey, give me a meetup, and then give me some tickets for the possible record-breaking one. And then I'm probably going to ask for some postseason tickets.
And I'm not trying to like one up you here, but even in that scenario, I wouldn't even need anything. All I would really want would just be the opportunity to meet up, chat with him, give him the ball, take a picture. But like, I don't know. I think you're seeing these different tiers of people where it's like, you've got the people that are just going to give the ball back. Mm-hmm. You've got the people that are going to negotiate out in the bleachers with the stadium staff. Be like, no, I'm not giving this back until I get this. And then you got the people that are outright just being like, no, I'm going to need this. And they give you like a checklist. And then you just got the people that just don't give it back. They keep it, so on and so forth. I don't know. I think the meetup would be cool. And if it was one of us, be like, hey, I'll give you his back, make a guest spot on the pod, and we'll call it a day. We'll call it a day.
That's a great point. I think I would bring that up in the meetup. I'd be like, yo, Aaron, we'll have you on Monday. All right.
It's like, yeah, congrats on all this. We know you're trying to push for 61 here, but look.
We record at 12 Eastern Monday, so be ready.
We're gonna need you. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, man. I think it just it is a life-changing amount of money, and I can understand that.
And to your point just now, let me be clear. I'm not gonna knock the people that keep it because people have different stories, have different reasons for doing it. I'm just saying, people have asked like, well, what would you do? It's like, well, I would give it back. Let him choose what he wants to do with it.
If you were Judge, would you say keep it? I think I would say keep it.
I don't know, dude. If I'm Judge based on the story you just told me,
I would say keep it.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Like, baseball is crazy. Maris hit 61 in 61, and we're looking at 61 years later. Judge is going for the record. And like, if I'm Judge, to add to the Yankee mystique, as corny as it may sound, I might just pull a Maris and be like, no, you know what?
I think there was something weird about the Pirates pitcher that gave it up too. I think is like, I don't remember what it was. I was listening to the broadcast. I want to say it was like a family member or something. Was a retired Yankee. Like, there was some type of connection between the pitcher that gave it up to the Yankees. I don't remember what it was, but because they showed him, I had it on low volumes. I think I was cooking, but had him like visiting Monument Park, and he was taking pictures with his wife and his baby. And I don't remember what the connection was. I'm sure somebody's yelling at me right now, but I think I'd give it back if I was Judge, just knowing that it's only 2 away. Like, I'm only 2 away. You know what I mean?
So you'd give 61 back.
I think I'd give 60 back. I'd give 60 back. I would probably give 61 to the Hall of Fame, and I think I'd keep 62.
I think the one, I don't know. People may think this.
Maybe vice versa. Maybe keep 61.
Yeah, I was going to say, people might think this sounds idiotic. I feel like I'd want the one that ties Maris.
I think I'd keep 61, give 62 to Hall of Fame. Yeah,
because you're synonymous with Maris at that point, and like that would be
also have to understand.
Meaningful.
And the Hall of Fame is getting everything else. They're getting the bat, they're getting the cleats, gloves, helmet, like jersey. They're going to have everything. They're going to have the full uniform of what he was wearing that day. And I don't think people really understand how much Maris went through during that time too.
Man, Maris was going
through a lot. He's going through a lot. And then the commissioner said it wasn't real. He's like, look, Babe did it in 154. This doesn't count.
Yeah, the hatred that Yankee fans had for Maris that like it. For those listening, if you're not familiar with the story, it's wild. Like
it's crazy.
People were pulling 100% for Mantle,
and then Mantle kind of phased out probably like July because he had hurt, and I think he ended that year with like 40 something, like upper 30s, 40. Yeah, poor guy. And then Maris kind of took over, and I think that's where he started to get the backing of Yankee fans. But what's crazy is that Maris won the MVP in 60. And I think he had like 45 or 50 home runs in 60.
I can't imagine.
And then the next year.
I just can't imagine rooting against somebody on your own team. Like, I get it. Mickey Mantle is like baseball.
He was the homer. And I don't think it's just Maris was only there for a few years. You know what I mean? Like, Maris wasn't the Yankee.
Yeah, I get it.
And I think it was Babe's. I think it's different because it was Babe's record coming down. And at that point, that is the real, true, only record. And then the pressure of the front office and the commissioner's office saying it doesn't count because Babe did it in less games. That's a lot going on. For those who haven't watched the movie, 61 is a great movie. Billy Crystal did it. Really good movie. Give that a watch.
Yeah,
I think it came out in like the early 2000s or something.
Losing hair, getting sick. Yeah. Unreal, man.
Yeah.
All for a home run record, man. That shows you
he
how
had
much
stuff
pressure
thrown at him, man. Like those guys dealt with a lot. And Mantle was like the kid. Mantle was the guy.
Yeah.
They didn't want anybody to take that away from it. It's a strange story. But kind of going back to like the Yankees fans, and I mean, you look at Jeter's 2000th hit or 3000th hit. That was the home run off of David Price. Same thing. You know, just a diehard Yankees fan that just wanted to meet Jeter. So, you know, I think that's cool. And I think I applaud the 20-year-old kid that said the same thing. It's just, you know, this isn't mine. You know, it's not mine. I'm going to give it back and just give me a chance to just kind of soak up this moment and meet the guy. And his buddies got signed autographed baseballs too. So
yeah, I saw the video of them being like led into the clubhouse all together. Yeah. I was like, God, what an experience. Like that. Yeah. That in and of itself, I feel like would be enough for me.
Yep, I agree.
That would be incredible.
That's something you'll never forget that. You know, versus just staring at a ball in a glass case that you can never touch, and probably nervous as hell that your house doesn't burn down.
Now that would blow.
Or if, you know, some kid takes it off your shelf to go play backyard baseball. Dog chews it up.
Yeah, not ideal. You know what is ideal, my friend? Is SeatGeek. Speaking of which, did you see how expensive these tickets are for these games this weekend?
Didn't look. They're absurd.
Left field bleachers. Unreal.
$600 a seat or something?
No, it's pushing like 4 digits.
Really?
Yeah, we're up there. It's crazy. But you could save $20 off that $1,000 ticket if you use SeatGeek. It's the answer to all your ticket needs. Are you looking for tickets? Do you have plans with friends or family to make it to an upcoming game or concert? Or are you even looking months ahead to net out a date to get tickets before they sell out? With SeatGeek, you can find tickets, games, concert shows, and even theater performances with just a few easy clicks, or make it even better for you if you're a first-time user of SeatGeek. Next time you add some tickets to your cart, use our promo code 30TAKE. It's our social handle at checkout to save $20 instantly off your first purchase as a first-time user. It's all you got to do to save some of that.
Cold cash.
Enter promo code 30TAKE at checkout.
Let's see here. I'm on SeatGeek right now.
So,
actually, not that bad. I might go.
Okay. Well, the series starts tonight, my friend. So, may need to get a move on.
Yeah, I was looking at tomorrow's seats. I'll meet you there. Let's ride.
Let's ride. I'm gonna need Judge to do us a solid and break it up over the course of 2. I don't want it happening in the same game. I just don't.
I agree.
I need him to tie the record, and then everybody needs to collect themselves, reset, and lock in for a new game. Because if it happens in the same game, I don't want that.
Have you been hearing this uproar that that Friday night's game is on Apple TV?
Yeah, dude, it's trash. Apple TV is trash. Your visuals are top tier, but everything
the
else,
commentary is terrible.
the stuff that actually matters, it's garbage.
I think they're talking about. I read an article today. I think they're talking about bringing Michael Kay on
Possibly
for just that game, and
there's speculation.
yeah, I hope, man, because it's like that. Look, Apple TV, you're already winning because you're probably going to get a bunch of people signing up. You got me earlier this year, so you already got me on board.
Got him.
I'll share my login with you if you want to watch.
That'd be clutch.
I got you.
That'd actually be super helpful because I need to watch Ted Lasso as well. So
It's really not even that expensive.
on a separate note. All right, dude. Well, just go ahead and call me broke. That's fine. Like if that's how you really feel, just tell me.
I don't think it's that much per month, but everybody's
fine.
throwing a fit.
Speaking of throwing a fit, can we talk about the Mets and how? Okay, look. People, I'm not even making this up. People are in my DMs right now, telling me how they want you to open up the letter to Pujols, the apology letter. They're telling me what they want you to refer to him as, like the pleasantries and all that.
This is my letter.
They're crafting it for. Well, I think they have a say in this because you dragged them through this in the first place. You had an opportunity. You had a very clear opportunity at the beginning of the year to let this pass, but you said no. I'm going to plant my flag here, and you've dragged them through this misery.
Word.
So
What does that have to do with Mets fans?
Well, I was going to say, do I need to craft an apology letter of my own?
No. You're just still going to end up losing the division. So you're fine. What do you?
Are you
don't
so
need
sure
to
of that, though?
You don't need to apologize
Are
for
you
a
so
wild
sure of that,
card
though?
winner.
Well, I mean, I'm not
Hey, look.
looking at this as a wild card berth. I'm looking at this as a postseason berth.
I personally feel like the Mets are real. I've said that for a while. I've backed them up for a while. They still have an opportunity
so
to Met.
trendy of you.
They still have an opportunity to Met in the postseason.
Oh no, you're not going to do that. You're not backtracking now.
I'm not backing up for me. I'm saying for you. I think you hold out. I don't think your apology comes until after the postseason.
No, it can't. I've already blown the cover on that. I said there are TikToks readily available for your viewing pleasure where it says that the Mets are real.
All right. Well, you want me to write this letter for you too?
Well, I don't need you to do that. I don't need a speechwriter here. But I'm more so asking you if I'm going to need to write an apology letter. Maybe I'll leave it up to the people. Like, do you want an apology letter? Because look, I ragged on the Mets, and it was brought to my attention over the last few days that I apparently have been hating on the Mets longer than I realized. So maybe this is just a long time. Maybe this is long overdue. All this
I think
to
we
say,
need to have you read off a letter in Mets gear.
well, that's not even a possibility. So
I think I'm going to shop for some Mets gear in the clearance section and send you some stuff. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it right now. Mets gear.
all that to say, the reason I bring this up is just a tip of the cap to the Mets, locking down a postseason spot. The Braves as well. The playoff picture is getting a little clearer day by day. But Nate believes, correct me if I'm wrong here, you think the Mets aren't going to pull the division out.
I think the Braves take it, man. I think the Braves take it. I think we'll give our reasoning a little bit later in the episode, but yeah.
Well, I mean, let's look at what we got here. You got the Mets sitting at 90, entering Thursday, the Mets at 95 and 56. You got the Braves at 93 and 56. So they're a game apart. The Braves have an 11.5 game lead over in the wild card. Love that. I'm
getting you a shirt.
You're not getting me a shirt, dude. I'm not wearing Mets gear.
Just for the apology.
No, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of money.
Pretty cheap.
You're going to make the poor delivery guy run up 3 flights of stairs just to put it on our doorstep and for me to just throw it in the trash.
The Mets are in the hunt, and I can find a shirt for $18. So
I'm not wearing a Mets shirt.
I'm going to get you a hat, too.
Well, I'm not doing that.
Add to cart.
Okay, well, you're simply not.
Price locked in.
Okay.
I like that.
All right, well.
Continue shopping. Some socks. And some Mets socks.
I'm not entertaining this. I'm not entertaining this at all.
Oh, look at this one. This one's fire. The leopard print. Get you that leopard print Mets hat.
Oh, yeah, that's sexy. Need that. Nate, excuse me. Can we can we look at this?
Look at what?
The National League postseason picture here. We got the Mets and Braves clinching since I believe last recording. Phillies holding on, man. God bless them. Look, if the Phillies don't make the postseason, I legitimately don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
I don't think they do.
This is the only team I can pull for. So Philly, figure it out. You pulled it off last night with a little dinker do up the middle to walk off the Blue Jays, but prior to that, you lost your previous 5. So Philly, like, please, just do me this solid and find a way to make it into the postseason, because if you don't make it to the postseason, I mean, who does that leave for me? Like, you've obviously got a lock. But for Toronto, Tampa, Seattle, Cleveland, Houston.
Oh, KC becoming a Guardians fan.
San Diego. Don't make me hop on board with the Braves again in October, because
no, it's not fair.
I don't want to have to put up with that.
I think you're a Guardians fan.
I'm not a Guardians fan. Philly's it. Philly, ride or die with the Phillies at this point. So you're either, and if you're listening, you better hope that the Phillies pull it out, because a playoff without a team for KC to pull for, that KC is just not as fun.
He's a stick in the mud.
I really am.
Guy.
And you don't want that. You don't want that. Like 19 had the Nats. Ooh, I was heated. I was heated. I was fired up for the Nats.
Yeah. 20,
I think we were just pulling for anybody but the Dodgers at that point. So we were hopping on board with the Rays a little bit. Not as wholeheartedly, but I mean, throw a little Brett Phillips magic in there. Like, all right. Last year, fire me up with the Braves. Another team of destiny there. And then the Braves fans started feeling themselves a little bit when they started adding gold trim to their jerseys afterwards. And I said, this is where I hop off. This is where I jump off the train. This year it's Philly. It's as simple as that. There's literally nobody else. No other fan base could convince me to hop on their bandwagon, because at this point it looks like Baltimore's kind of bow out gracefully. Gave it a good little run, but doesn't look like they're gonna, barring any miracles here.
Yeah.
That's it.
I was talking to my buddy earlier today. How big of a flop has Castellanos been this year? What a massive disappointment. Like, that is rough. And you talk about 3 guys that are capable of hitting 40 when healthy.
Well, I mean, this is Schwarber's first 40-year season. But to your point, when he's healthy.
30.
Yeah.
You have 3 guys that should be over 30.
Well, I think Schwarber's picked up a little bit of the slack for Castellanos. So, I mean, that helps offset that a little. No, I'm not. I literally just said it helps offset it a little bit. You're not completely picking up that slack, but I tell you what, though, and we'll get into it. I'm gonna need a little something more from Bryce than what we've been seeing the last few days, because, like, bro, I'm the biggest Harper guy there is. I've made that abundantly clear. But, like, what these people are saying, what Braves fans are saying about you, what Nationals fans are saying about you, more specifically the Braves, because they're the ones that you tend to run into this time of year. It's starting to hold a little bit of truth. Like, you're going to need to show up in these games, because we saw what happened last year, and that was just embarrassing. I'm sorry. That was just embarrassing. We're going to need a little something different this year. If the Phillies, if we collectively are going to see October.
He's got to have a solid week. Like, put the team on my back kind of week.
I'm going to need
He's capable of doing. I think we can all recognize that.
But, like, I'm going to need it to show up when it actually matters. Because we can give you the MVP, but if you're not producing in those final couple weeks of the season to get the team over the hump, I don't want to be having this conversation next March about, is this year the Phillies can finally get over the hump because they need to be in the postseason, because baseball needs Bryce Harper in the postseason. I don't want to have that conversation next March. Like, this can be the year. Like, you control your own destiny at this point. Like, you are in the driver's seat. Just be better.
So if they get in, they get either the Braves or the Mets, whoever wins the division.
No, they would get the
right.
No, wouldn't they'd get the Dodgers as a third wild card seed?
True.
Yeah.
True.
Well, right. We haven't.
I still don't understand how this bracket works.
No, but what I'm saying is, we implemented that whole, like, choose your opponent thing? Is that starting this year? I can't remember.
I don't know. I'm lost. I'm lost on all of it.
Because I don't think that would necessarily change anything in this scenario, but I'd wonder if that would play into to that situation.
Or the top wild card team.
Well,
so
no,
is the first wild card round between 2 and 3 spots?
2 and 3, yeah. I think.
And then 1 plays the winner of that, and then division winner, top seed division winner, gets the winner of that.
So as it stands right now, assuming this is up to date, yeah, this was posted at 11. The wild card round would be the Phillies at Cardinals and the Padres. Oh, so it would be the
third wild card spot gets second division winner or third division winner.
So the best 2 divisions get the bye is what I'm seeing into the DS. So you'd have the Phillies at the Cardinals and then the Padres at the Braves as of right now.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
And those are 3-game sets, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you'd have to go through the Cardinals right out of the gate.
And then DS
would be the Phillies, Cardinals, whoever wins that matchup against the Mets.
All
and
right.
then the winner of the Padres, Braves is against the Dodgers. And again, this is all based on how the standings are right now.
I don't hate that. I don't hate it.
I'm say what you want. That's very doable for the Phillies. And I'm not saying we're making a World Series push here.
Yeah.
But like, you can beat the Cardinals in a 3-game series. Like it's possible.
Yeah.
And then say what you will about the Mets. The Mets could Met.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can just make it to the NLDS, you got a shot. And I'm not putting the Phillies in the World Series here. I'm just saying. Like there is a path. There is a path. Anything can happen in baseball.
But old Bryce boy, he's got to get it going for sure.
We really got to get it going, Bryce.
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna need.
I need a couple big bombs this weekend.
Yeah, these last couple weeks have not been friendly to Bryce.
Well, when I was there on Friday, he beat a ball into his leg. He hit a foul ball off his leg, and I thought he got shot. I thought it was over. I thought there were snipers on the roof. Someone wanted to end the Phillies season right then and there. My man was rolling around.
That would be something Braves fans would try to try to set up.
I mean, he was done. I didn't see what happened after that. I played a lot of golf. Had a lot of adult beverages the following days.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Yeah, like I said, the playoff picture is really starting to narrow in here. Really starting to funnel down.
I was hoping for a little bit of a better last couple weeks. Weren't you?
Yeah, and honestly, I was hoping for a little bit of a better push from Baltimore.
Teams. Yeah.
Like, I just wish they could have rode that magic out a little longer, but 4-6 in the last 10, it's just, I don't know. Ryan's still holding out hope, but I think it's safe to say
the White Sox are dead.
We can put that to bed. Yeah, Cleveland coming off did they come off a sweep? They've won 3 straight.
Was that a sweep?
Was it a sweep? Because it was the Twins, right? Or was it the White Sox?
Their last game's tonight. And the Guardians have won both against the White Sox. The last game of the series is tonight. The White Sox needed to sweep this series. They had to sweep this series to have a chance. I think they're done. And the Twins. Ugh. Disgusting.
Fraudulent organization, just like I said. Speaking of which, we can say farewell to the Rockies and Angels officially.
We've beaten both of these dead horses a lot. The Rockies have money to spend. They have an amazing stadium. They have a very fun environment. Fans want to cheer. Fans want to show up. They're top 10 in attendance every year, and they still don't spend any money. And it's disappointing. That's a beautiful ballpark, fun place to play. I don't get it.
It's disappointing when you see an organization like this all but take advantage of their fans.
It's kind of like they remind me of what San Diego was prior to these last few years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a beautiful ballpark in a city that it's very desirable for free agents to go to. It's like, and you're still not able to. So what if you got to overspend just a little bit? If you got to overspend, if you got to pay an extra $5 million to get a pitcher to come to you instead of somewhere else, so what? Just get it done.
Like if you're the Rockies, is that enough for you? Genuinely, is that enough for you? You got a beautiful ballpark. You got fans that you just know are going to show up one way or another, regardless how.
That's what it seems like.
Piss poor your team is playing.
Yeah.
And you're okay with that? You're okay with finishing last in the division? That's fine to you.
And it's not like they have this I was watching the Arizona game last night, and I was like, you know what? They've got some pieces. Like the Diamondbacks are going to be, they're building something. And I understand that. I see some pieces that they're starting to work around, and they're getting something going. The Rockies are just lost. I think they're going to have a worse year next year.
Just get out, like, it shouldn't have to be stated, but just get out of baseball. Get out of sports in general.
Genuinely feel like there are owners waiting for this reconstruction of these divisions. I genuinely feel like there are teams, because I get it. I mean, I understand if you're not going to be able to keep up with the Dodgers, you're not going to be able to keep up with the Padres, but like, have the Padres really shown that they're not, like, they're that far out of reach,
I don't even care about the Dodgers. I don't care about the Padres. You're telling me you can't hang with the Phillies? Yeah. You're telling me you can't hang with the Brewers? Come on.
Yeah. I don't get it.
At least make a respectable effort to get to October. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And like when we were out there for those couple games a couple years back, you look around and you're like, this is just it's a premier baseball city.
The All-Star game, the Home Run Derby last year was absolutely stacked with people. There are so many baseball fans in Denver. So many baseball fans. And it's just they continue to do the same thing over and over.
It's demoralizing just seeing them get fleeced every year. It's terrible. And don't even get me started on the Angels, the other team that has since been eliminated.
They got to sell. They got to sell. They have to who was it? Who's that GM that's always on MLB Network? He's the former GM of the Rockies.
Yeah. Bowden? No, not Bowden. What was it?
I don't know.
Dan O'Dowd.
Thank you. He was talking about how he's like, the Angels have operated as if they're only a couple pieces away. And they're really, really not. And when you get to that point, you got to sell. You just got to fire sale everything from top to bottom, including Trout. Trout has to go.
I mean, at this point, why not Ohtani?
Both have to go.
The ceiling is high.
Ohtani's definitely gone.
Yeah, I mean, the ceiling is as high as it's going to be.
Yeah. Ohtani's for sure gone next year, I think. Trout has to go too.
Why would he stay?
I wouldn't want to stay. It's terrible. It's brutal.
No, I'm just saying, like, as management, why would he stay? Why would that be the guy? It's like, yeah, let's build around him. Well, we've tried that, and your experiment has failed miserably. Yeah. The Shohei Mike Trout experiment clearly was not the answer. You clearly need more pieces than just those two to put together a winning ball club. And even then, when you have the pieces together, there's something about your franchise. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't seem to work. So this may be more than a personnel thing. Like, we may need to go under the hood a little bit deeper the next time around, because what we're trying to do just isn't working.
I was watching a movie on the airplane on the way there. It's called Ambulance. And it's like Jake Gyllenhaal, and he's basically like the main actor. And it's a Michael Bay movie. If you like movies, Michael Bay is just like, ugh. It's Transformers. There's just stuff blowing up everywhere. That's all it is.
Don't roll your eyes at Michael Bay.
Michael Bay is one of the worst directors.
That was our middle school
ever.
That was like our middle school soundtrack.
That's fine.
Don't hate on Transformers. Michael Bay didn't choose
the music.
No, I'm saying Transformers as a whole. That was just
Michael Bay.
That was
only good for Transformers. And the first one. The rest, garbage. Everything else he's done since, garbage.
Pick one thing and be really good at it. And he picked Transformers and he was really good at it. That's all I'll say.
One of those Transformers.
There's not going to be
garbage.
There's not going to be Transformers slander.
There's no story. There's no character
I
development.
don't watch Transformers for a
There's
story.
nothing there.
I don't need a plot
I'm telling
line.
you about Ambulance.
As a middle school kid, I was
Ambulance.
watching Transformers for big exploding robots and Megan Fox. I'm just being honest.
I was watching it for Megan Fox for sure.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Pop the hood,
continue.
Megan Fox.
Okay. All right. We'll continue.
So I was watching this movie.
He's flustered.
Oh man, I'm flustered. But Michael Bay sucks. Let's just make that clear.
All right. Well, this
Ambulance,
is a Pro Transformers podcast.
And I watched the movie and it ends and I'm like, there's people crying, there's characters that are just like overacting everything. And I'm just like, that had nothing there. That's what the Angels are. The Angels bring in a couple names to sell some tickets and to sell some jerseys. And they just sit back and they're like, this is going to be the best movie ever. And they don't understand. There's no development with the Angels. There's nothing else going on outside of those couple main characters. Their team needs to be blown up, top to bottom, all the way through. It's not good. So, yes, sell Mike Trout. Get him somewhere else. Anywhere else. But he's got to go. And I know Ohtani's gone. I think everyone can agree Ohtani's gone. And everything else is whatever. Secondary roles. They're all secondary roles. There's no other main actors over there. Trash.
Amen, brother. Closing the book here before we get into our weekend series preview. The Royals fired Dayton Moore. Talk about a letdown. Royals just falling flat on their faces here. President of Baseball Ops is out. I don't know. Hopefully this is a good sign for the Royals.
Mm-hmm.
Not to take anything away from the guy that helped bring him a title, but sometimes change, even if it hurts, is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's all part of the pruning process.
Mike Matheny is next. Adios.
Safe to say. Yeah, I just need to see. I need to see something a little more exciting in Kansas City.
They got some dudes there.
It's there. Yeah, like when I say I need to see something more exciting, it's not that like you need to bring something in. Sure, you do need to bring pieces in, but like the blueprint is there.
Yeah. Brady Singer looks real. We already know Witt is real. Like they're going to be fine. It's just, ew. What a letdown. We were both pretty high on them.
I was very high on the Royals. I think actually you were, because I was on the Tiger. I was riding the
you were on the
Tigers.
Tigers. I was on the Royals. Yeah, just as like a surprise, kind of like what the Orioles are this year. That's kind of what I was hoping.
Yeah,
the Royals, but no,
not to be. Lastly, here the Mets set the hit by pitch record on Wednesday.
Did you see Buck ask for the ball?
Ask for the ball. They're 106 hit by pitch of the year, the most of any team since 1901. That's wild.
Well, that's what happens when you talk a lot.
Did you see the montage they had? That what's their channel again? Isn't it like SNY or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you see the montage? They had a montage ready because they knew they knew the record was they were knocking on the door. Go, if you haven't seen it, go watch the hit by pitch montage when they broke the record. It was.
How many times does Pete Alonso throw a fit?
It was as corny as you would expect a montage coming from the Mets organization to be. That's all I'll say. Like,
oh man,
no, we're not gonna do this right now. I'm done with the Mets. Weekend series preview. Let's roll through them here real quick, and we'll get out of here. For me, Braves Phillies. I mentioned I'm gonna need a little bit more out of Bryce Harper. Just gonna need a lot out of the Phillies in general because we got a 4-game set against the Braves. You got a real chance here. It's a challenging test, but you got an opportunity here to really do something. So my advice to the Phillies, don't mess it up. Game 1, you got Max Fried Going up against Ranger Suarez, Fried is 13-6 with a 2.52 ERA. Opponents hitting .224. 6 innings pitched last outing against the Phillies. 2 earned runs on 4 hits, 4 Ks, and 3 walks. Ranger Suarez is 9-5 with a 3.53. Opponents hitting .243 off him. Last outing against the Braves, 6 innings, 1 earned run on 2 hits, 4 Ks, and 3 walks. Game 2, Jake Odorizzi and Aaron Nola. Odorizzi is 5-5 with a 4.04 ERA. Opponents are hitting .248 off him. His last outing versus the Phillies, 4 2/3. 1 earned run on 2 hits, 5 Ks, and 1 walk. Aaron Nola for the Phillies, 9-12 with a 3.38 ERA. Opponents hitting .225. His last outing against the Braves, 7 innings, 4 earned runs, 7 hits, 8 Ks, and 2 walks. Game 3, Kyle Wright, Bailey Falter. Kyle Wright is 19-5 with a 3.18 ERA. Opponents hitting .233. His last outing against the Nats, 6 innings, 2 earned runs on 8 hits, 7 Ks, and 1 walk. Bailey Falter, 5-3, 3.68 ERA. Opponents hitting .250. Last outing against the Braves, 4 2/3, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 3 Ks, and 2 walks. Charlie Morton, 9-6, Game 4. Charlie Morton, 9-6, 4.09 ERA. Opponents hitting .223 off him. Last outing against the Nats, 5 1/3, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 9 Ks, and 3 walks. Kyle Gibson, he got it handed to him last outing against the Blue Jays. But on the season, he's 10-7 with a 4.71 ERA. Opponents hitting .265 off him. Last outing against the Jays, 5 innings, 7 earned runs, 12 hits, 3 Ks, and 1 walk. That's your Game 4 matchup. Offensively, you know I'm highlighting none other than Bryce Harper. Bryce, I mentioned we're gonna need a little something. If you replicate your previous 10 days over these next couple weeks, you might as well just pack it in. His last 10 games entering Thursday, 7 for 40, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and 12 Ks. Austin Riley, 7 for 37. His last 10 games entering Thursday, 2 home runs, 3 ribbies, and 10 Ks.
Yeah, if you're on the standings watch, the reason that series means so much, Milwaukee's 2.5 back in the wild card behind Philly, and Milwaukee's playing the Reds for 4. So if the Phillies trip up here, this could be their season. And the Braves are going to come in hot because the Mets are playing the A's. So the Braves need this. The Phillies need this. Milwaukee needs them to lose and to sweep the Reds. This is a big weekend. Big weekend.
Big NL East weekend. All right, we're going to need you to do this in record time because we're running up against the clock here.
Yeah.
Let's see
All
what
right,
you
here we
got.
go. Game 1, Michael Joseph Wacha going for the Red Sox against the Yankees this weekend because let's be real, everyone's going to be watching Judge. So that's why I chose this. Wacha is 11-1 this year, 2.61 ERA. Opponents are in 2.16 against him. Last time out against Kansas City, went 7 innings, 1 earned run, 7 hits, 4 Ks, no walks. Going for the Yanks is Jamison Lee Tyone. He's 13-5 this year, 4.04 ERA. Opponents hitting 2.46 against him. Last time out against Milwaukee, very average. 5 innings, 4 earned runs, 4 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Game 2, Richard Joseph Hill. 7-7 this year, 4.70 ERA. Opponents are hitting 2.64 against him. Last time out against Kansas City was 4 2/3, 4 earned runs, 8 hits, 4 Ks, no walks. Garrett Allen Cole going for the Yanks in Game 2, 12-7 this year, 3.41 ERA. Opponents are hitting 2.08 against him. Last time out in Milwaukee, 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 8 Ks, 3 walks. Game 3, Nicholas John Carlo Pavetta. That's pretty interesting. Pitching to Giancarlo Stanton eventually. 10-11 this year, 4.35 ERA. Opponents are hitting 250 against him. Last time out against Kansas City, 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 7 hits, 7 Ks, 2 walks. And Domingo Herman Polanco. I guess you just choose to not use your last name, Domingo. He's 2-3 this year, 3.12 ERA. Opponents hitting .237 against him. The Yankees have seemed to be using him as an opener lately. Last time out against Milwaukee, went 1 2/3. No earned runs, 1 walk, 2 Ks. And game 4 for the Red Sox, is it Brian? Brian
Bayo.
2-6 this year, 4.75 ERA. Opponents are in 3.07 against him. Yikes. Last time out against Cincinnati, did have a good game. 5 innings, 1 earned run, 8 hits, 5 Ks, 2 walks. And Nestor, no middle name, Mustache Cortez Jr. is 10-4 this year, 2.67 ERA. Opponents are in 200 against him. Last time out against Pittsburgh, 5 innings, 1 earned run, 5 hits, 4 Ks, 2 walks. I chose these 2 starts because they're pretty obvious. Xander Jan Bogarts.
That's what she said.
Jan Levison, I presume. He's 11 for his last 34. 11 for his last 34. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs.
Levinson, I presume. Oh, that's good. That's good.
9 Ks in his last 10 games. Aaron James Judge. This is stupid. 20 for his last 40.
Everywhere. Jan almost everywhere.
Aaron Judge is 20 for his last 40 in his last 10 games. 5 home runs, 10 RBIs, 10 Ks. And if you were curious, I did pull his lines against these starting pitchers.
I'm not.
Judge against Walker is 0 for 14. 0 for 14, 9 Ks. Judge against Hill, 2 for 4 with a double and a single. Judge against Pivetta, 5 for 11, 2 jacks. That might be the guy. And Judge against Bayo is 1 for 2 with a single. So, yeah, that's it.
All right. Have a good weekend, folks.
Don't go chasing curveballs.
Ah! No. Can't say that yet. You know why? Because you know what you didn't say?
Oh, man. You never queued me up. Big
It's
League Chew,
not
founded
my
by former
job.
left-handed pitcher Rob Nelson. Big League Chew started from humble beginnings in the Portland Mariners bullpen in 1977. More than 40 years, the iconic pouch is packed with shredded, flavorful bubblegum has become the number 1 cheddar gum of athletes everywhere. Big League Chew has sold more than 900 million pouches and designated as the Hall of Fame bubblegum. Grab some gum and head to Big League Chew's social media channels at Big League Chew on Twitter, at Big League Chew Gum on Instagram to show off your Big League bubbles. You can also find a list of retailers that purchase any of their products directly from their website at bigleaguechew.com. Big League Chew.
I had to pick up your slack last episode. I had to run through the Big League Chew ad. Flawless.
How was it?
Flawless.
Were you?
I made note that we're probably pushing a Billy now. I think we've surpassed the 900 million mark.
I think we gotta update that.
We gotta update that.
Anywho's,
Jan Levinson, I presume. That's all I got.
Xander Jan Bogarts.
Yeah,
Come on.
I'll never look at Xander the same way again. Unreal. That's all I got.
Don't go chasing curveballs.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.